This is a podcast from the Fitzwilliam Museum, Cambridge.
My name is Stella Panayotova. I'm the keeper of Manuscripts and Rare Books at the Fitzwilliam Museum, and I will be giving a brief introduction to our latest exhibition, Contemporary Calligraphy. Back in 2005-06, I had a very exciting discussion with Patricia Lovett, one of the leading calligraphers in this country, and she asked me whether the museum would be interested in featuring really excellent examples of the work of contemporary calligraphers. I said yes, and I didn't think twice because I thought it was a wonderful opportunity. And from there on, Patricia proceeded to persuade some of the most brilliant practicing calligraphers in this country and elsewhere in Europe and further afield to donate examples of their work to the museum. So we're very fortunate to have this collection. We're celebrating the generosity of the artists with this exhibition. What people would see when they come into the gallery would be works of contemporary art. Calligraphy nowadays is an art medium with voracious appetite, with different techniques, all sorts of media, and a whole big range of themes, many of them very relevant to us nowadays. But also an art form that embraces cultural traditions from around the world. All that will be packed in the exhibition gallery for people to experience in a very vibrant, very dynamic work of contemporary living artists. Calligraphy, or literally beautiful writing, is a very ancient art form stretching back into Egyptian times, ancient Rome and Greece and Rome, throughout the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, into modern times, and of course other cultural traditions, notably the Chinese and the Persians, and then later on in the Islamic traditions of the Middle and Near East. There is a very long, ongoing and constantly evolving tradition of calligraphy. Some of the pieces in our collection and in the exhibition draw inspiration from traditions all over the globe, but in many different ways they reinforce the message that calligraphy is really a living art form. So we would have a few pieces to demonstrate heraldic calligraphy done by contemporary artists like Anthony Wood, for example, the armorial bearings of John Duke of Bedford, Henry V's brother, Regent of France, one of the greatest politicians in medieval English history. But the majority of the collection evolves from these traditional art forms and themes to become an all-devouring subject matter. For example, there are works of contemporary art and you wouldn't stop to think twice whether they're calligraphy or not. And I'm thinking of Johan Clayton's quotations from the Theologica Germanica, or Gemma Black's Alpha and Omega, or one of my real favorites, Rachel Yallop's Alphabet. These are works of contemporary art. Also, the calligraphy collection demonstrates the fluidity and confidence of contemporary artists working in all sorts of different media. We have Tom Perkins' letter D cut onto a slate. We have Mary White's beautiful throne globe, which is porcelain with gold and silver glazes, and we also have a lot of different traditions inspiring works of Persian or Chinese descent. For example, Gilla Peacock's Falcon on the Path, inspired by the great Persian poet Hafez, or Susan Leeper's Autumn Evening on the River, which is a Chinese-style book done by the artist while she was living in China and using entirely traditional Chinese calligraphy materials. As far as themes go, the collection represents everything from geometry, mathematics, to literature, from ecology to politics. And a few examples are Lynn Kerr's major gouache piece inspired by Pythagoras, or Penny Price's quotation from T.S. Eliot's The Four Quarters, which is essentially a piece of calligraphy with gold leaf on paper. We also have Jan Pickett's Rainforests, a very potent plea to humanity to preserve our green lungs of the planet, and also Peter Halliday's allusions to G.W. Bush's speech at the State of Union address of 2003, overlaid with connotations from the Bible. His Star-Spangled Burning Bush is a very powerful political message presented by a contemporary calligrapher. Why is the collection at the Fitzwilliam Museum, and what does it mean? How does it fit in with our collections, and what is its future? The Fitzwilliam Museum has done a number of recent exhibitions which celebrate the work of contemporary artists, be it sculptors, now calligraphers, potter makers, or silversmiths. So although we have very, very strong collections reaching well into the past, we do care about our contemporary artists too, and we like to showcase their works. In addition to that, the calligraphy collection in fact develops a major strength of the museum's historic collections. We have one of the finest collections of medieval and Renaissance illuminated manuscripts. We have a very strong collection of contemporary typography and book design, stretching from incunabula in the 15th century all the way through to 21st century artist books. And of course we have one of the finest collections of private printing press books in this country. So there is a very, very long tradition on which this new acquisition of the contemporary calligraphy collection builds, and we are delighted to have it, and we're delighted to be able to celebrate it.